Get the cough out of the way. Hey everybody, I'm Science Viking. I'm back, and I promised that this time we'd go back to the Northern Undead Asylum. We are, but first I'm going to spend some of my souls. I'm going to start by leveling up a couple of times. I haven't done that in a while. I believe I haven't leveled up since we killed the Capra Demon. I put a point into Vitality, a couple into Dexterity, and I may as well throw a point into Attunement. Ooh, that would even give me another attunement slot. Alright, confirm reinforcement. Attune Magic. And I'm going to throw in a second fireball, so that now I just always have 16 fireballs. And next I'm going to talk with Laurentius and see if I can upgrade my Pyromancer Flame. Right.
Oh, hello there. I'm pleased to see you safe. As always, if you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy.
Let's see if I have any souls. I don't. I only need 8,500 though,
Goodbye,
so...
Be safe, friend. Don't you dare go holiday.
I'll just wait. Alright, we're ready to head back to the Undead Asylum. Now, in order to do that, it's possible to return to the Undead Asylum anytime after you have activated this elevator that leads between Firelink Shrine and the Undead Parish. The reason why I didn't do it sooner than that is because... I can't talk today. Is because you don't really benefit from returning to the Undead Asylum until you're about ready to take on Blighttown. And so I wanted to be as strong as I could before attempting this, because there's a new enemy there that's a bit more dangerous than what we've been dealing with before. Anyway, you get on this elevator and watch carefully, activate the elevator, be right towards the edge facing towards Firelink Shrine, and just step off of the elevator as soon as you can, and you'll end up here. You can also do this on the other route going down from the Undead Parish. Once you're on here, go to the right, along here, and you see there's this thing that you can reach. You may be tempted to jump towards this. I was tempted to do that, and I did actually try jumping it. I don't recommend it, though. First of all, there are several treasure chests down there that we can open. I'll get to those in a moment. But first, just step close to the edge, as close as you can, and then just dodge roll off of it. And I missed the dodge roll. I'll try that again, but in the meantime, I wanted to show you these chests anyway. So if you just drop straight down, you'll end up in here. Open the chest. Let's see what we got. And now you can see that I've been spending too much time playing The Witcher 3 because I think E is to interact. Ooh, a cracked red eye orb. You use that to invade other players. I'm not planning on doing that. Alright. Ooh, a morning star, and then a talisman for casting miracles. Not really going to use that either. And 6 homeward bones. That may well be the developer's idea of a joke, because you'll probably think that you need a homeward bone to get out of here. Alright, open this. And Lloyd's talisman, which prevents Estus recovery. So nothing terribly useful unless you want to be a miracle user, and even then it's probably stuff you already have. Once you drop down here, you end up in the graveyard with the skeletons. I'm just going to quick take these guys out. Alright, switch back to the shield. And try again. So, sprint back to where the elevator was. At least I'm not holding shift when I want to sprint like I was earlier in practice. I am still apparently not quite smart enough to handle stairs. Alright. Into the elevator. It's easier if the one on the left is the one that you're using, but it's possible this way. Just carefully. Do that. And we're out. You don't want to fall down that hole. It won't hurt you, but you'll have to try again. Alright. Stand towards the edge, but don't jump. And just hit spacebar. Okay, correction. Hit spacebar while holding down a forward movement button, so you dodge roll forward, and you'll land here. That was not a jump, that was a dodge roll. The next step is that we need to find a particular key, which is actually in Firelink Shrine. It should be right there. To get to it, step forward and dodge roll. And now you'll see why it's important that you dodge roll, because if you don't dodge roll, you'll end up just on this sloped surface. Oh, I get when I was in my practice run, I couldn't get up here because I wound up on the sloped surface. But if you get over to the edge where I was and then dodge roll forward, you can roll up onto here. And Pillars of the Corpse, Undead Asylum, floor 2, west key. We're going to need that to get the rusted iron ring. Alright, now we just want to get back down. And now, I want to make sure that I'm as prepared as I can be. Dodge through this window, land on top of someone. I want to make sure that I'm as prepared as I can be before I take on the Undead Asylum. So first, I am going to swing by Laurentius of the Great Swamp and have him upgrade my Pyromancer Flame again.
Oh, hello there. I'm pleased to see you safe. As always, if you provide the materials, I can teach you Pyromancy.
Modify equipment, Pyromancer Flame. And we're up to +8.
Goodbye.
In case you're wondering...
Come back if you find anything new.
In case you're wondering how I got enough souls to upgrade my Pyromancer Flame when I didn't have them before, I had to try this a couple of times before I could get it right consistently enough to record it. Alright, now we're going to repeat what we did and actually go to the Undead Asylum. Now before we do this, we want to change up our equipment a little bit. We want to resist magic as much as we can. Magic is the second item from the left. So... this would resist 11. The Tattered Cloth Hood also resisted 11 points. And that's the best we're going to get. How about for a chest piece? The Sorcerer's Cloak resists 27 points, whereas Chain Armor resists 25, but the Tattered Cloth Robe resists 29. Balder Armor resists only 18, so the Tattered Cloth Robe is going to be the best that we get. Now let's check for gloves. Tattered Cloth Manchet, I'm guessing I may be butchering that pronunciation, gives us the best resistance to magic. And I'm going to bet that the Heavy Boots +3 will. Yep, they do. And I'm going to switch to the Tattered Cloth Hood just because I can. It gives the same... Nah, I want that physical defense from the Chain Helm. Yeah, we're going to be fighting something that likes to use magic. Alright. The weapons are exactly what they should be. I'm going to be using my bow a fair amount in this fight. And onto the elevator. Take the elevator up. As you can see, there's more ledge on the other side, on this side, so that it's easy to step off if you're taking the elevator on the right, and hard to do so if you're taking the elevator on the left. Right? It's possible that I'll mess this up. At this point, if I mess this up, I'm just going to cut out my getting back here. But I made it. What good a little practice does. Alright, climb up here. Up here. Also, that was a joke earlier. I haven't been playing The Witcher 3 too much. There is no such thing as playing The Witcher 3 too much. I've only had it since last week, and I think I'm already in love. Alright. And this is the nest from the bird that brought us here. Hit A, or Q, to curl up like a ball. And we're going to have to wait a minute. The first time you do this, you have to wait a little while for the bird to actually come for you, and if you stand up, then it will reset the timer. After we've done this once, in any future attempt to go back to Firelink Shrine, we won't have to wait. Alright, and we're off and running. I don't know why it is that this is what the bird does with people who curl up like an egg, because it doesn't ever pick up its own eggs and move them back to Firelink Shrine. But yeah, it'll pick us up and move us back to Firelink Shrine. It'll move us back to the Undead Asylum. And it's the only way to get back to the Undead Asylum. Right. I guess it has a nest in each place, and it is rotating the eggs between the two different nests for some reason. Like it wants its kids to experience the culture of the Northern Undead Asylum and the culture of Firelink Shrine equally or something. Well, now that we're back here, you may notice something's different. There are torch hollows. I want to be careful dealing with them because there's a boss very soon after we arrive. So I want to be as close to full strength as I can be before we take it on. Also, you may notice I took a sliver of damage when it hit my shield. Yeah, this shield does not block 100% of fire. It only blocks 100% of physical. It is theoretically possible to avoid ending up fighting this boss if you're careful, but I'm going to actually take it on. Just walk along the floor here. Get ambushed by regular hollows. Take a swig. And that is quite surprising. I have managed to walk all the way across to the Firelink Shrine to the bonfire here without being attacked. You can walk back across this floor, just as an experiment. Yep, and now we fall down into where the stray demon is. For some reason, my mind always calls this the wandering demon. Yeah, it was under us the whole time while we walked inside. And I have just died. That was quick. Back with another attempt. Which is to stick to the edges of this room. Walk with your shield raised because there are hollows in here. Dodge that attack. Kill that hollow. Don't let them lure you into the middle of the room because the tiles will collapse, taking you down to where the stray demon is. This is where you'll take on and now you're past it, and you no longer need to fight it. I'm now going to actually fight the stray demon, though, to show you guys how to do it. Alright, step onto here. You have to be pretty much on the center of the area that collapses. And the stray demon looks quite a bit like the asylum demon. It's mostly the same, but it has one attack that the asylum demon doesn't have. I am inside of it now. I'd like to have my bloodstone back, but I'm not going to get it back. Which is that. It will swing its hammer, and then that will happen, that explosion. That explosion is extremely hard to dodge for a number of reasons. The simplest of which being, the explosion does not always happen. And I'm dead again. Well, I'll try that again. See you in a moment. You'll take some damage. The first thing you want to do is turn your camera completely around so that you can see the stray demon. Alright. Lock onto it. I do have a bit more firepower than I had when I was on the asylum demon. Ooh, alright. You see that red shockwave attack? That does a lot of damage, and it's extremely difficult to avoid being hit by it. Because there appears to be no delay, because the timing and position of the attack is really weird. Well, I'll be back with another attempt. And the fourth collapses on me. Down to the boss. That explosion attack is rather frustrating. And I'm dead. I must just be tired tonight. Alright, I'm back at the Undead Asylum. And from the montage you've just seen, you've seen that fighting the stray demon is really difficult and really frustrating. That's why I'm not going to. I've shown why you want to avoid it. Now I'm going to show how to avoid it. Stick to the edges of the room. Don't walk over the center of this room at all, and you can go around the stray demon. Around where the floor collapses to lead to the stray demon, and just avoid fighting it. Alright. Come on. I'm not letting you lead me onto that floor. I don't want to fight the stray demon again. Also, you may be wondering how it is that... Well, first of all, I'll go around here, and voila! We're at the other side. I'm going to rest at this bonfire so that I respawn here instead of respawning and fighting the stray demon. You also may be wondering how it is that I, at the beginning of this video, was hollowed. Remember, I ended the last video human, and I began this video hollowed. So you may be wondering about that. You know, what happened? How did I die? How did that happen? Did I die or something? And the answer is, well, when I was on my way back to Firelink Shrine, I was ambushed by... I was invaded by 2 different players at once, and a dragon decided to show up at the same time. I fought valiantly. I defeated one of the players, And I defeated the dragon, but the other player, I think something glitched out because he kind of like was in front of me and then he disappeared and then was behind me and then he backstabbed me and I died. And that is definitely what happened. That is how I died. That is what happened. And if anyone tells you that I accidentally fell off of a ledge while walking back to Firelink Shrine, they are liars. Anyway, there are two things we can get here. The first one is actually back in our cell where we started the game. So, climb down this ladder. There shouldn't be any new particularly dangerous enemies, and I keep thinking I'm playing Dark Souls 2. Alright, let's get lost in this one. My kryptonite, ankle-deep water. Actually, no, it only starts being a problem once it makes it up to your calves. Ankle-deep water is fine, but calf-deep water is too much. And this is where we fight the stray demon, if we fight the stray demon. I'm probably actually going to go back and do a revenge video here. Whoa! Against it. And yep, if you come back to your cell, there's a Black Knight there. Well, I have a bit more firepower than I had the last time I fought one of these. I'm really enjoying these fire rolls. One of the reasons I did want to fight the stray demon is I need quite a few souls for something I'm going to do before I go to light. Ooh, a red titanite chunk. Red titanite is used to upgrade weapons that have been ascended as fire. Alright, go through here, and there's new loot. A peculiar doll. That won't matter for quite a while, but eventually we'll get to using it. Also, yeah, I'm probably never going to use that red titanite chunk because I don't want to ascend a weapon as fire for this character. The other thing is, I haven't gotten into how this works, but you can ascend a weapon a second time after you've ascended it the first time and then upgraded it until it's maxed out. Though raw weapons are kind of the odd one out. You cannot ascend raw weapons a second time, but you can ascend other weapons a second time. Ooh! You followed us all the way here? This is Oscar. This is the guy who gave us the Estus Flask. He's become hollow. I guess he won't get his wish of not harming us after death. Of course, he's wearing heavy armor, so he isn't much of a threat. Not a bad dodge roll, Oscar. Here's where you can orb on him. Ow. If I can avoid being hit. He is wielding his weapon two-handed. Some NPCs do that, most don't. The ones that do are usually ones that used to be talked to about. Let's see what we dropped. Oh, Crest shield. I don't personally want to use it, but you might. He will not respawn, just like the Black Knight. Now that he's dead, he's going to stay dead. But yeah, it looks like he went hollow. That's kind of depressing. Okay, we go up here. They take the route that we would take. I didn't realize that reset. Well, I continue my streak of being hit by that every single time. We take the route that we would take if we were going to fight the Asylum Demon, even though the Asylum Demon is actually not there. There's a treasure that I talked about way back in part 1 that we couldn't reach. We can reach it now. We'll just block the arrow. Is it just me, or do hollows look more pink than any of the other hollowed enemy types? Like, hollow soldiers have grayer skin, but generic hollows have pinker skin. I don't know why that is. Also, I'm impatient, so I feel fireballs in these days. I have enough. But there's a second one now. There was originally just one. Now there are two. And of course, he has exactly the same shield I do, so I know that it doesn't really do much against fire. And now, we can open this door, because it uses the Undead Asylum Floor 2 West key, which we found in Firelink Shrine. Down here. pillage the corpse, and we get the Rusted Iron Ring. Let's check out the Rusted Iron Ring. It improves balance on poor footing. The main effect that has isn't going to be apparent until we get to Blighttown. That's why I'm not equipping it yet. What it does is, in Blighttown, well, there's a swamp. And when you're actually passing through the swamp, your ability to move is severely slow, like it is in deep water. And so it's really difficult to maneuver. In addition, the swamp also causes poison buildup on contact. The Rusted Iron Ring allows you to move normally even if you're in the swamp, and you have to pass through the actual swampy areas to get through the game. So the Rusted Iron Ring makes it significantly easier to maneuver in Blighttown, and in general makes Blighttown a lot more survivable. So that's the reason why I wanted to collect the Rusted Iron Ring. Now, the hollows will be back. It's important to remember, when you're going back through this room to get back to Firelink Shrine, remember that the trap is still here. Do not walk over the center of the floor. If you walk over the center of the floor, you will end up fighting the Stray Demon, and it's really not worth it. It does drop a decent number of souls, but that's the most useful thing it gets you. Back up here, just like last time, now that we've killed the torch hollows. There's one last bit of preparation that I want to do before I attempt to take on Blighttown. And that is that I want to upgrade my Pyromancer Flame all the way up to +10. There is a reason for this. There is an NPC in Blighttown named Quelana of Isola, who is the best pyromancy trainer in the game. Sells several unique pyromancies that you can't get anywhere else, and also has the ability to ascend a pyromancy. Ascending your Pyromancer Flame, basically, it's like ascending a weapon. After you upgrade a Pyromancer Flame a certain amount, it will be maxed out and you can't upgrade it further. But if you ascend a Pyromancer Flame, it begins a new upgrade track and you can upgrade it even higher to bring its stats higher up so that they can be more useful. So, if you're a dedicated pyromancer like me, you really want an ascended Pyromancer Flame. But this NPC does not appear unless you enter Blighttown already in possession of a Pyromancer Flame upgraded to at least +10. So I'm gonna just stock up on souls and have Laurentius upgrade my Pyromancer Flame as high as I can. I'm probably gonna need to do some grinding for souls in order to do that, so I can grind for them in the depths. Maybe just farm up some humanity and some large Titanite shards while I'm at it, because those are always useful. So, with that, I'll be back to you. So, I'm going to go do that now. This is the end of this part. We've seen everything we need to see in the Return to the Undead Asylum. The 3 items you get are the Peculiar Doll, which gives you access to an area you can't otherwise get to quite a bit later. The Crest Shield, which is just a reasonably nice shield. But I'm actually going to compare it to my current shield. Going the wrong way. Okay, so it blocks a bit more magic, but it blocks less of everything else except physical. So it's not a bad shield. It blocks 100%. It's another shield that blocks 100% of physical. Anyway, with that, I'm going to depart for the moment and go get my Pyromancer Flame up to +10, and then I'm going to, and then in the next part, whenever I get it up, I'm going to take on Blighttown. So, this is Science Viking, signing off, and as usual, I love you all, and I'll see you next time.